Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. Let's start with Doug and John. So, Doug pretty much tells John, yo, Marlene's trying to kill me. John, looking at the situation, is like, alright, maybe you just, the meds or whatever, like, you're not really thinking straight. She loves you, she's our friend, yada, yada, yada. He's just not listening to a damn thing that Doug is sitting there saying. Doug is like, yo, Marlena needs help. She tried to kill me. Now, there's one point. I'm not gonna lie. When Doug was like, she's trying to kill me. Is that what you want from me? If that's what you want me to die? I couldn't help but laugh. Just the way he said it, it was just like, what? But again, John is just thinking that Doug is still out of it. So he goes to try to find Kayla, and Julie sits with him. Julie does not let this man get a word in. Okay? Doug is not trying to talk, and Julie's all like, oh, she's just talking over him. Marlena's fine, she's our friend, you just need to relax and calm down, and she just kept going. And I'm just sitting there looking at the situation, I'm like, damn, man. I was like, part of me feels bad for Doug, and the fact that no one's listening to him. Okay? But Julie's the type of person that she just seems like she always talks over people anyway, and this guy had been married to her for, I don't know, eons. So, at that point, I was almost like, Doug, you've been married to this woman for a while. You know she's not going to let you get inchwise as far as talking. You should have just gave up at that point. Come on, seriously? Now, Marlena, because apparently, she's Marlena again. I don't really understand how that works. A little bit. But then again, so now she's Marlena again. And the devil's like inside of her, whatever, but she's listening to this recording, which is kind of odd. Okay, she's listening to a recording about this session that, Marlena was having with Doug. But then it turns into the devil talking to Marlena. And it's no longer, she's listening to the tape. Anyway, the devil's like, yo, listen, we gotta get rid of Doug, because he's loose ends, loose lips, sink ships. So, he gotta go. And Marlena's like, no, we're not doing that. Like, I'm not hurting him. So, he's like, alright, I'll make you a compromise. I can just do it without you, but I'll make you a compromise. We'll find a way to put him out of commission. We won't kill him, but we gotta make sure that he doesn't talk. So it's either I kill him, or you back me up on this one. And seeing how Marlena wants to protect her friend, she's like, alright, fine. This scene works because the devil's inside of her. And, he was already sitting there saying, like, you had all this power, you had all these powers to do things and stuff like that. So out of nowhere, Julie is sitting there talking to Doug, and she goes to go get some water. Now, the whole time she's talking to Doug, Marlena is literally sitting in the chair, just hanging out, just watching the whole thing. Well, the other guy. So Julie goes to go get some water. I rewind this scene like 4 times. Oh my. See, it's stuff like this that is like, it's not made to be intentionally funny, but it's hilarious. Marlena Possess takes a tray and just clocks Julie over the head. I watched that scene like 5 times, and when I'm done with this review, I'm going to watch it another 5 times, because I just can't get up. She just comes up and just whack. Just the way she falls down on the ground, I'm like, Uh, only in a soap opera you can actually make this work and it be funny. Now after Chanel closed up the shop and everything like that, she's walking and she sees Johnny, and Johnny has his guitar out and he starts singing. And here's the thing. Usually with musical numbers, I tend to fast forward because I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Johnny is really good at singing. I was just like, bruh. So he sings, sounds a little bit like, I don't know if anyone knows this guy named Jesse McCartney, but he sounds very similar. Almost like Jesse McCartney was actually singing himself. But anyway, Johnny's a rock star when it comes to singing. And he's sitting there talking to Chanel about all these other things he wanted to do. He wanted to be an FBI agent. He wanted to be an astronaut. He wanted to be, a singer, a rock star. And I'm like, bro. Listen, I get you want to sit there and do the movie thing, and that's cool, and you can still do that, and, all those other pipe dreams that you want to do, but, like, bro. Like, you have a guitar. You're actually good at this. I'm like, does EJ even knows that this dude can actually sing? I'm pretty sure he'll probably sit there and want him to be, running the company and stuff like that. But I'm like, bro, this guy actually has some talent. Why aren't you using it? But anyway, he woos Chanel, and then, he walks home. Walks away. Now, earlier, there's this awkward scene between Trip and Allie making out, and, Chanel's all like, oh, go get a room, it's bad for business, and yada, yada, yada. They invite her to come out, but she's like, yo, listen, I've been up since 5. I'm actually tired. Like, I want to go to bed. So she's like, alright, I'm just going to sit there and watch something on my tablet, and just call it a night. And, again, I love the times that we live in, Like, even, yeah. So, I don't want it to get cold. Back in the day when people watched soap operas and stuff like that, like, they would read the newspaper, like, actually read the newspaper, and you see it now, and you see, like, Kate, like, on her tablet. I remember I saw one scene where you had, like, Ava from General Hospital on her tablet, and I'm pretty sure there was, Gwen on her tablet. And so, back in the day, people were like, oh, I'm so tired, I'm just going to sit there and just watch TV and just call it a night. Now it's like, yeah, I'm just going to go on my laptop and just watch some stuff, and so, interesting stuff. Anyway, the hell was actually Snither going with this? Anyway, she tells Trip and Ellie to go on ahead, but, when they're not looking, Chanel still has that look on her face like, she wants to be with Allie. She is jealous of them making out. And, yeah. Meanwhile, Chanel seems to have a great guy. He has looks, he can sing, he has passion, a drive. And then you have Allie, who has Trip, who has looks. He's going to be a doctor. He's really good with Henry. He's just a good guy all around. You have 2 women that have great guys. They're just like, yep, I know, I'm a very lucky girl, but I still want to be with someone else. And I'm just like, both of y'all are a bunch of idiots. And in a lot of ways, I guess, they deserve each other. I mean, seriously, you literally have 2 great guys, and you're just like, yeah, but I still want to be with her. I'm like, what the And then there's this scene with I was about to sit there and say, well. Then there's this scene. Seriously. Um. Then there's the scene with Trip, Allie, Ciara, and Ben, and they both meet up at this club. And they start drinking and stuff like. Well, apparently they're short staffed, so Trip gives Ciara his drink, and Ben and Trip go to the bar, and they both have separate conversations. You have Ciara that's not there talking to Allie, catching her up on a honeymoon and everything like that. And then they get to the point when they're talking about Ben and how he doesn't want to pass on his, killer genes. Pass on, his killer genes and stuff like that. And, Ciara's worried that he may feel like this forever. Like, he may never want to have a kid. And Allie's like, you know what? Why don't you adopt? Get a lawyer. Because, Ciara's like, yeah, I don't know about that. Because, Ben and his history. And it's not like we could sit there and say, hey, he's good now. So, Allie's like, get a lawyer. And adopt. And I'm not going to lie. At first, I thought Ciara was going to be opposed to the idea. Maybe she wanted to, have a child of her own. Give birth and everything like that. But Ciara was not opposed to that. And so she was like, she had that look on her face like, that's a good idea. Meanwhile, you got Ben and Trip. And Ben pretty much asked Trip, like, you being a medical student and stuff like that, is it possible to pass on, serial killer genes? And I'm like, he's a resident. Like, he's an intern, Like, you act like he graduated and he's just gonna have, like, all the answers. But, Trip was like, yo, it's a possibility. But at the end of the day, we don't know. You just don't know. So when Ben and Ciara get back, Ben made up this lie when Ciara was like, so what are you two guys talking about? And Trip tried to cover. But, Ciara's like, listen, what's going on? And, Ben tells her about the conversation that, those two are having. And Ciara's like, it's a good idea. How about we talk to Marlena? Get her perspective on everything and, just to sit there and kind of, help, put your mind at ease. I'm just like, I think this is possibly the worst time you can actually want to see Marlena for anything. Good luck. And the final scene is when Johnny was sent there pitching his idea to Abby, about being in the movie. And asked, Chad if he can invest. Now, Chad seemed like he was more than willing to invest. And I'm like, we're gonna be honest. The minute you put any money into his quote-unquote pipe dream, you know how EJ is. Like, oh, it's gonna be so great. But when Trip leaves, Chad is like, Abigail seemed like she really wants to do a movie. And Chad is kind of surprised, but, when Abigail, oh my goodness, when Abigail starts talking about it, she seems like, hey, the kids are in school, I'm still on leave, and this would be a good idea to kind of just, like, get out of my own head, not really think about my problems, stuff that's going on that's stressing me out, like, it would be fun. And she seems like she actually wants to do it. She's looking at the script while Chad is there talking about business, which, to be fair, the stuff he was talking about was boring as hell. So, honestly, to tell you the truth, I felt like even if she wasn't looking at the script, she would have been looking at her phone on something that was a lot more interesting than what he was talking about. But she seemed like she wants to do it, and Chad, I guess Chad was a little kind of apprehensive about the whole idea at first. Like, you sure you're ready to do that? You just got back and everything like that. Like, and again, I find it so funny because Chad is like, what about the Spectator? Like, your job. And, Abby's like, oh, well, I've been going this long and everything is running fine. So I'm like, Yeah, has great advantages of being the boss's daughter. I'm pretty sure you must be very loved at the office. Okay. But yeah, Abby says that she wants to do it. So, she saw it. She was reading some of the stuff in the script, and it seemed like it was fun. So, honestly, to tell you, I'm not gonna lie. Even when Johnny first approached her with the idea, you can tell, like, you saw a gleam of excitement, like, like this could be kind of fun. So I knew most likely she was gonna do it. There's one point she's sitting there talking about like her play or whatever, because Chad was like, no offense, but you can't act. So Abby puts on the performance. She's like, oh well, when I was the pancake or whatever, and she tells this story about how she couldn't remember her lines and she started tearing up and stuff like that. And Chad actually believes her, and he's like, oh, listen, I didn't think it was that bad. I'm sorry about that. And then she turns around and she's like, yeah, I got you. So I'm like, don't underestimate Abby. It should be fun. I mean, as far as like her being in a movie and stuff like that, it should be interesting. Now I'm sitting there thinking about it. It's like watching a show. It reminds me of the later Seinfeld episodes where they start to develop like a plot, like a pilot for a show about them. So it's like you're watching a show about these actors making a TV series about the show. Like it's very surreal, I guess. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's about it. I feel like I may be missing something, but I always say that. Anyway, if I'm missing anything, please write it down in the comment section below. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe, have an amazing weekend, and I will see you in the next video.